So let me introduce a couple of more guys here on the stage. Thank you. And we are excited, and it's going to be exciting here. The important role of the operations in going after the vision. We are preparing a few of our guys, so I'll explain a little bit what we're going to be talking about. Vision is what drives you, but everyday action are the ones that will get you there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce here person on the very stage, Mr. Laimonas Noreikia. Mr. Laimonas, are you ready? Sveiki, Laimonai, prašau. Mr. Laimonas is co-founder and CEO at ZITICITY, one of the fastest growing logistics startups in Europe. Let's give a big round of applause to this beautiful guy. All right, how do you feel today?
Amazing.
Amazing, all right. Amazing, you say. Great, all right. One more powerful person over here, Toma Dilė. Make some noise for Toma. Toma is the Chief Operating Officer at PVcase. All right, and one more. The important moderator of this talk, this is Arvydas Bložė. Boo, boo, boo. Investment Director at the Practical Capital. Practica Capital is over. You guys ready?
Ready.
Yes. Are you guys ready? Woo! All right, let's roll.
Good. Hi. Good morning. So nice to see people here. You know, it's been a while since we had any kind of event like this, and I know in the evening is going to be the more fun part. So I see all of you there. Today we have our discussion about execution, and execution in terms of the importance of everyday actions in following the vision. I'm joined today by Toma and Laimonas, two extremely interesting individuals that are building amazing businesses and are very versed in this theme. This is why we thought to have them here on the stage and hear their experiences. So it's probably needless to say, but I will reiterate that in many cases, building businesses, we hear that vision or idea does not cut it. It's not enough to have a vision, it's not enough to have ideas, because the execution part is really what makes a difference and really what builds the business. And today we're going to zoom in on this term, execution, and we're going to kind of try to ground it in a very interesting perspective of what actually takes to plan and what are the day-to-day kind of steps or actions that you need in building your company. And we take the challenge with Laimonas and Toma and their experience in building two very different companies. So it's PVcase that is building an amazing software play on sustainable energy. It's of course the dominating play on sustainable energy that right now they are selling utility-grade solar park design software to engineering, planning, and construction companies in solar industry. And then Laimonas is building ZITICITY, which is a tech company that provides on-demand, same-day and scheduled deliveries for businesses. Again, software play and tech-enabled, but ground operation-heavy company. And I'd like probably to start with opening question to give an audience a bit of a overview on the velocity volume of scope of your businesses, because last 12 months, both companies have seen unprecedented growth. And by unprecedented, I mean really. ZITICITY probably COVID amplified the whole delivery service, and solar industry is facing huge boost from Biden administration for European Union. So Toma, why don't we start with you and explain a bit for the audience?
Yes, thank you for introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be out from the home, finally. And it's amazing that we have a live audience. And so PVcase is a company which creates software specifically designed for solar engineers who build and designs huge solar power plants. So the goal of the software is to provide a tool for the companies to have more effective, more efficient solar power plant, and then at the end of the day get the biggest and the most best return of investment of it. And yes, Arvydas is totally right. We were growing quite rapidly in the past 12 and 18 months. And just to drop some numbers, 4 times bigger revenue in 8 months. We increased our customer database by four times, and also we doubled the team. And currently we're expanding and focusing on building the teams internationally, locally. Our headquarters is based in Kaunas, and now we're expanding in Vilnius, Germany, France, and I missed something, Spain also. And the next step is United States and Asia. So this is the goal where we're focusing right now. And we're not stopping here. We're expanding, not only talking about the market, not only talking about the number of employees, we're also talking about new products. And everything what we do is fighting climate change through software and enabling the companies to do so.
Thank you. And probably needless to say that 4-time expansion was already from a solid base. It was not from a typical super early stage where you start and then 4 times seems kind of okay, right? It's really amazing what's happening.
We just entered the 4th year of the company, and it seems like this 4 times bigger is the way to go this year also.
Yeah. Okay. Laimonas.
Good. Thanks, everyone. Pleasure to be here. So ZITICITY provides fast and affordable deliveries for e-commerce companies, and basically, as an alternative in a market, we have traditional logistics companies that were built ages ago to deliver efficiently in wide geographies. But for business that has item in the same city as its customer, they don't provide extra advantage. And by using ZITICITY, e-shops are able to have in the checkout like 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, same day, next day delivery, like whatever works for that business, we are able to build this. Similar as PVcase, we are a 4-year company. Last year was really busy. COVID impacted our business a lot. We had to make strategic decisions how to open up us to a broader market opportunity for a bit smaller one. We will cover this a bit later. And this move allowed us to grow 8 times in terms of revenue, 4 times in terms of employees. I like this ratio that the employees is growing slower compared to revenue. And yeah, as a bold vision, we want to create one of the most well-known tech companies from Lithuania. And my dream is when you go to a remote location and you meet native people, they ask, so which country you're from? You say Lithuania. They say to you, oh, Sabonis. And I want them to say, oh, ZITICITY. So that's bold vision. And it's all about execution. So let's deep dive into execution.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and it's like these numbers, ZITICITY numbers. You did 500,000 deliveries, right, in total, or?
Yes, 500,000 deliveries.
Yeah, it's imagine to cope with that scale when you're also so much demand-driven, or there's such a big demand steadily dropping on you, and to manage the operations. We'll cover this in a second. So before we dive onto this, again, the importance of opportunity or realizing the opportunity, because you go in typically with book play, right? Focus on niche market, build a monopoly type of play, serve your initial customers, and go on top of it. This last 12 months, let's say, did you have this realization that your market is way bigger, or that actually there is much larger opportunity there? Was this wow moment in your kind of company development?
In our case, yes, and it's very easy to relate for us as we are providing a physical service. We are moving boxes from point A to point B and adding additional stops in between. So at the beginning, we were positioning as a fast delivery company, and while we integrated into the e-shops, we were collecting goods from their warehouses, and we were comparing piles of boxes for express delivery and next day delivery, and next day delivery pile is 10 times bigger. so that's why we made a decision to position ZITICITY as the best home delivery option, and we are able to serve if you want fast delivery, but as well some customers prefer scheduled like next day deliveries or deliveries in 4 days, and we will build control tools for you to have peace of mind. So like we had this like realization moment that focusing on the same day, you cannot build a multi-billion-dollar company, and we want to do so. So we are focusing on where the actual demand is. So
Okay.
My time.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So I would say we were like flirting with the idea of potential possibilities which are in the sustainability sector and renewable energy in general. Everything what we did currently till today in this 4 year, in like these 3 years, entering the 4th, we did just with one product, and we are just playing in one part in the whole life cycle of the solar power plant, just in the ground mount design part. And we always seen the opportunity that we can do more. And the idea of the software itself is that most of our team is engineers who worked in the solar, or they're really familiar with the solar. And every single time when we're having some kind of party, everybody's speaking about current product. And when they get a little bit dizzy, they always talk about what huge potential there are in the market, what amazing things we can do with additional products, and how we can, in general, innovate the sector itself. And step by step, we were flirting with that idea. Okay, one product, everything goes okay. And currently, we are in the stage where we're saying, no, one product is not enough anymore. We can do better. We are like almost 60 people around the globe, and we want to expand that, and we want to expand the value which we provide for the sector and for the customers. And that wow moment, I would say it wasn't that, it would be nice to say, oh, we had that amazing epiphany. It wasn't like that. It was small steps which led to this. For example, suddenly we saw that in Spain or Portugal, in the job descriptions, PVcase becomes as a requirement for the solar engineering community in the market. So that was, one tick. Then we see, okay, we have like top 100 solar companies in Europe, and most of them are our customers. So this is another tick. And then we're getting this positive feedback from the customers that the software itself has the functionalities and features which they like and what they need, and we have what other competitors doesn't have. And even if the software itself is mainstream, customers has a lot of flexibility in it. And when you hear that constant positive feedback from the customers, how they adore the PVcase, we have like, in the company, we have what we call brag book. It's the quotes from the customers, which we can't share with anyone because of the phrases what is written in it, but it's just for us, to look into that and get motivated every single day. So these small little wowies brought us to the moment where we're now, and we are like, as you mentioned, we are going big.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And going into the execution, right? We have to make a distinction. When in the beginning, when you launch your startup, it's more important to get customer feedback or get customer validation and build a startup in the mindset to fail as fast and cheap as possible. At the same time, once you have found evidence for core fundamental assumption about your business value, that the customer actually recognizes that you bring value and you can scale in a sustainable way, then comes this scaling or execution part. And both companies present here today and Toma and Laimonas are in that type of stage, right? So that's why we can talk about execution, and please bear in mind that this is kind of after that cutoff point, right? So then execution becomes a matter of resources and resource allocation, and also is a kind of differentiating factor whether you make it or not. Because in that stage, competitors can raise more and execute much better. So timing, resources, and people become super critical. And right now, I'd like to kind of dig into that topic and asking you, how is the planning done in your organization? And even kind of particular methodologies kind of employed or deployed in this.
Would you like to start?
Mm-hmm. So, like, in our case, we have a like tech angle and like operations angle. So like we need to coordinate both like physical activities and software activities. In terms of like, so I take a role at ZITICITY of being CEO, like leading the commercial development company vision, fundraising, of course, and when it comes to the execution, like there is a critical role in our company that makes all of the dreams happen. So like it's Chief Operating Officer, which is also co-founder of ZITICITY, Vytautas. It happens to be he is also my brother, and it helps a lot. So, and COO is a critical role in like execution phase, because yeah, as Arvydas mentioned, like you have resources, like you have complexity that you need to solve, and you need to solve it in the most efficient manner in the market, because like you'll have competition. If like there is no competition, there is no market. So, so like I must emphasize importance of COO role, and this is like I think one of the most overlooked roles. Like we always celebrate CEOs, we always make the headlines, and like I'm very happy. But right now on the stage we have also Toma representing actual like COO, and like I also see a need in the market to create like COO groups, share best practices, like and grow this role. So like it's like overlooked topic that we must like share best practices, how to do those, how to manage resources in a most efficient manner.
Thank you. That's nice words to say about CEO. I'm flattered. Talking about the planning, I totally agree with Laimonas. When we talk about CEO, it's a critical role when you're running the organization itself. Let's imagine there is the body of the person, and the spine is the most critical functions of the company. Without sales or marketing, there is no money. Without, for example, in our case, there is no developers and product teams, then we don't have a product. So we have a spine. Without the spine, we can't even start move as a company. And then there is a muscle, and the muscle is what basically is operations. Depending on these muscles is how fast the body can move forward. And the company is strong as the spine is strong, as the operations are strong. So it's all connected in one body. And when we go to planning, when we go to the planning itself, the context is the key, understanding what company wants to achieve, understanding what the different teams the company has and what kind of personalities they have in the team. Then you have to find the best possible methodology to adapt to that specific team needs. For example, in our case, developers work with Kanban or Scrum methodology, so they are planning like in 2-week sprint, which is like now a cliche to say even that. But why we're excited about that? Because we are really following the Scrum. We are not, just doing that nice big view and saying we are using Scrum. No, we are really using it and we are following it. For example, marketing in our team runs by OKRs. So for them, that works the best. And for the sales team, they're living with the KPIs every single day. It's like waking up to that number, what you have to achieve in the day, in this week, in the quarter. And to align all these things is one of the most important things. And when we're planning, we're trying to be really agile. So we have these big numbers, what company wants to achieve in a year. Then we are using, let's call it like goals, big goals for the company. When we escalate these objectives to the personal level, and every single person in the company know what kind of hard KPIs they have to reach or what kind of project they have to deliver, and we constantly align with each other. So that means every 3-4 months we sit down and say, okay, is this still relevant or not? If not, let's adjust. So that's again one of the cliché words, agile. Being agile in startup, being agile in planning, and not having personal ambition, and not to have really be attached. Sometimes there is situations when you're delivering a product or the project, and you feel, this is my baby. I can't let it go. I have to finish it no matter what. But sometimes the baby just not working anymore, and you have to change it, and you don't have, and you have to lose your ambition in the process, and say, okay, this is not for me, this is for the company. And in the planning itself, that agility is the way to go, and the context is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. This is very, very interesting kind of take. And when you think about it, chief operating officer or CEO, it's not like just a layer above, right? There is this DevOps, sales ops, and many operationally oriented people within the teams. Could you also maybe expand on this? Do you have this setup in your organizations that next to sales, which is more like hitting the target and talking to the customer, there is sales ops that ensures that infrastructure is running in the process? And maybe for Laimonas and ZITICITY, I think it's completely expanded in terms that you have a fleet of, or you have a lot of zitters that also have to be engaged in many of the cases.
Yes, so like in our case, we are learning along the way. It's like important to note that we have started a logistics company without being logistics experts. So this is one of the biggest benefits to us because we expose ourselves to a lot of problems and find creative ways how to solve them. And like all of the technology that we are using, we are building in-house. And like this is unique. It's also being used already by more established logistics companies. So like we are constantly learning and adding those like operational control points. But like we are far from perfect, and like I don't want to sit here like and preach we are amazing. Like we encounter problems every single day. We need to become really smart in how we prioritize those problems and which ones we are fixing. Like you cannot fix everything, but you need to like spend your time on the changes in the product, in the processes that would like open up you to a scale. And like sometimes some problems you can completely ignore because solving them will just like waste everyone's time, and but like result will be mediocre. And as like we are in this startup by nature, you need to grow really quickly, and then like you have to have this attitude when you also onboard new people to the company that things won't be perfect, and you always like you have to accept when you're growing like 8 times throughout a year. Things that worked at the beginning of the year will completely not work at the end of the year. And like you're doing those iterations, let's say every quarter, completely changing the company, like how teams are structured, how like leadership is structured. You know, like people that joined as a 20th employee of the company in 8 months become like leaders of their departments with already 20 people without having prior experience how to lead 20 people. And everyone has to learn those things. Like I personally don't have experience how to run a logistics company of like 100 employees during the COVID. There was no book about it, so like I had to learn it. This year we aim to grow at least like 3 times, so and to rise to 300 employees. And again, I will have no experience. I will need to learn along the way. Leadership team will grow. So like it's a mindset thing. Like when you join a fast-growing company, like be open, be curious, and accept that things will change.
But also compromise, right? Because you will not have a perfect process, and you'll have to reinvent it on the wheel. It's like you start lifting off a plane and you have to build the wings, or kind of already getting to the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Talking about like operations in general, I would like to say that we are mature enough to have all these, nice things, finance ops, DevOps, and sales ops. No, we don't. We just 3 years old, and we are moving to that direction slowly. For the long period of time in the startup. So for 2 years, that function was scattered to every single person in the company or like to few people in the teams who were collecting and doing that. In general, when you are just startup, there is no job too small or too big. So if you need to add additional field to the sales force, you are totally suitable to do that, even if you are a chief sales officer. And yeah, sadly, we don't have all of these, but we're moving forward to, in the growth of the company, to have separate people who will be responsible for that. We were really lucky ones, I would say, as ZITICITY was growing in the COVID, solar industry was not touched by that. And we also have that situation when, you know, people joined 3 years ago, they were like just 20-ish. And now they are running 1 or 2 teams, and together they have like bigger teams than they could imagine 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's kind of also a very beautiful thing that our early stage tech companies, especially the bigger ones, are creating these kind of sales ops, DevOps, you like it or not, it's like our ecosystem and our talent pool is growing together with the companies, because we are, what, 10 years, Lithuanian ecosystem, tech ecosystem is thriving. Right now it's at the point where it's amazing. But yeah, ZITICITY PVcase is going to create a lot of interesting talent pool from those people that are engaged with them right now.
Yeah. I would like to add, right now we are hiring 20 people. We have our HR team on the ground and online, so you can apply here, you can apply online, and help us to solve like the burning things around, help us to prioritize which things to solve and build a company as famous as Sabonis is.
Yeah.
So I have now to do it.
Yeah, you have now to do it.
That's how we're running now. Okay, so also we have HR team who is online, and if you want to apply to PVcase, just go to pvcase.com to a career page. And even if you don't see the possibility quite now, in general, in the next 12 months, we're going to hire in every single position what is needed in the company. And just join and come to solve the global climate change for software with us.
Yeah.
Unexpected commercial break here, but
and Laimonas has a ZITICITY sweatshirt.
Oh yeah.
So that's also, I have a PVcase t-shirt, so we're doing branding from now on.
You see, and I'm not allowed. My brand is up on.
Okay. God mode.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, so I think to follow up on those topics, it's especially on where we started, right? To not only keep it in the kind of cloud, this discussion on high level. Could you share some light on how every day running the company looks like? I understand it's like 200 emails you have to. How does it look from every day, and how to manage this?
Mm-hmm. When we look to day, even if you know this title is really nice, Chief Operating Officer, at the end of the day, it drills down to really simple things which you do daily. It's writing the emails, answering the emails, of course, and trying not to lose yourself in these emails. Also, every single day you wake up with the question in your mind is how to use current resources in the most effective manner. And at the same time, what kind of resources you will need in upcoming 12 months, because now you're hiring the person who will be needed in like upcoming 6 or 12 months. So you constantly have that question in your mind, how to align companies' resources to the vision, and then the same day you're planning, so what kind of chair we should choose for the new office in Vilnius. And that's, you know, that's the line where you're walking, and one day you're just, you know, talking about, I know, saving like 100,000 in the contract, and another day you're just like, so what kind of chair would be the best one for the employees in Vilnius? And that is operations daily. So you're working with the HR team to have the needed resources and workforce needed. Then you are working with personnel and team leads for them to have motivated team and culture, which you define but not people define. So that comes together. Then, of course, finances, paying the bills, choosing the auditor's company to whom to do the audit, and these kind of daily things. And the goal at the end of the day is that marketing and sales would be focusing on commercial part, product would be focusing on delivering the best possible solar engineering software for the world, and operations, is everything else that these guys won't think about anything. They would have the pen, and then at the end of the day, they would have the best possible employer to work with.
Perfect. And Laimonas, and I think we have 2.5 minutes, so you are free to wrap it up as well.
Good, good. So like, really similar to what Toma mentioned, maybe like a bit deep dive on the operations side of the business, like operations in our cases, like couriers and warehouses, like that kind of operations. And on a daily basis, we check are we profitable or not. So our goal is to get more from customers when we pay to like transport the goods. And we are checking this on a daily basis. So like we have demand from clients coming in, and we need somehow to fulfill those promises that our commercial team made to the customers from operations side. And most of our couriers are not employed; they are gig economy workers, and basically you need to do magic. So they would stand from their chair, go outside, sit on a bicycle, sit on a cargo bicycle, sit in the car, and actually do those deliveries. So this is like it's really close to magic, because like you're moving physical goods, you're motivating people to come online at hours when you need to do so. Transaction rate is just like really high. Like last year we did 500,000 transactions, and in each transaction there are 3 pieces where things can break. So like pick up at a merchant, and like the delivery to a customer, and also like something can happen to a courier along the way. So, and like we have seen it all, like tire is flat, stuck in the elevator, police stopped, we have all stories. We are also like having we are thinking of, you're having like bragging channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like we are thinking about releasing a book of our courier stories. Like it's we have seen it all. Like even like last year during like one day, one tree fell in Vilnius, and it fell on our courier's car. And it was on like one of the local newspapers, and it's happening. So for us, it's really important. It's execution-focused business. We are, at end of the day, we want to be at least 20% profitable from deliveries we did, and to make it happen, we need to balance between commercial, tech, operations, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I think we're out of time now completely. It was very nice and kind of honored to have you on stage and share a bit of that. Running the company, what does it look and what decisions you should make? And I think it's underrated. I completely agree, it's a bit underrated position, and it needs to kind of have more recognition and also more recognition, probably that is. And there are a lot of people to come to this role. Thank you so much, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Arvydas.